Okay, so you just finished filling the bath up to around about here. The first step that you would have done is a full backwash. To do the full backwash, you would have closed the valve which backs onto this valve here. You would have closed that so that all of the water gets sucked out of this base drain. So before you start to do a backwash, you would always close this valve first, and then before you start the system running again, I'll show you in a minute, you would open that valve again so that this works. Okay, so turn your water off. And you've already run a big backwash, a full tank backwash with dirty water, and now you're going to run a nice clean water backwash, which is why it's important to get this as high as possible. We haven't filled it right to the top now just for time, but you would go right to the top, and then you would open your lid. You can use your bath to hold your lid, and now we're into the top of the filter pump here. So never turn this handle when the pump is running. So the pump's switched off, open the handle, it's set to filter, which is filtration, so it's pumping the water through the sand and back into the bath. If we turn it to backwash, this is going to reverse the flow of the water, and you close the lock the handle like that in backwash. This little nipple against this little nipple, lock it in that backwash position. This is going to reverse the flow of the water through the sand, disperse the dirt, and put it out to your waste. So you may want to, before you do that, position your waste as Nick is doing here. Just drop it down into your basin, and now you can switch on your pump. Make sure your hands are dry. Switch on your pump, which is the right hand plug at the moment, and as you can see, nice clean water starting to come out. If it was a dirty tank to begin with, that would certainly run like a murky colour, but now it's nice and clear. Switch that off again. Now you always finish after a backwash on a rinse. So this is switched off again now. Turn it to rinse, close it again. Let's check the level of the water. So yeah, we want the level of the water to be set at this third rung down, so it's still a little bit high enough for us to do the rinse. You would have more water usually to be able to do this. So set to rinse, switch it back on again, going backwards and forwards. Nice dry hands, switch it back on again. You'd rinse for about 20 seconds usually. Yeah, you haven't got 20 seconds this time. I can see here, there we go, we're down to the third rung. Switch it off, turn it to filter, close it, switch it back on, and there you go. So your water is now recirculating into the tank. Yeah.
Top is done.
Done.
Thank you, Ryan.